Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today we are going to start a new lesson. It's going to be Unit 4, Lesson 5. We are going to be looking at multiplication equations. We're going to be looking at them today as a comparison. So remember, when we're comparing two things, we are going to be looking at how both of them are relating to each other. So our I can today is I can interpret a multiplication equation as a comparison. So let's look at the story problem to help us understand what we are doing today. So this says, Rachel picked 15 apples while her little brother Eli picked 3 apples. So I want you to look at the story problem and see what are the two things that we are comparing. We are comparing how much Rachel picked and how much Eli picked. So in order to put this as a comparison object, we need to be looking at what do we need to multiply to get these together. So in order to write this out as an equation, we are going to be using the numbers 15 and the number 3. So this needs to be multiplication. So I need to think, what operation do I need to have in here and what other number? So thinking about the variables that we've been talking about, I'm going to say 15 equals A times 3. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, I need to solve for A. So remember, I'm multiplication here, so I need to do the opposite. So I'm going to be doing 15 divided by, which is also the inverse, equals 5. So how many more apples did Rachel pick? But it's how many times more, not how many more, because if I do how many more, I'm going to be doing subtraction. If I'm doing how many times more, I'm looking at the multiplication. So if I was reading this, I would say Rachel picked 5 times as many apples as Eli. So this is how many more times she picked. So I would have to think, I start off with Eli, which was 3. What can I multiply that by to get her number? All right, so she did 5 times as many. So my answer here would be 5. All right, so here is our class activity page that we are going to be doing together. So what we're going to be doing that's different on here is going to be looking at comparison bars. So here's just a quick example of what they look like is this right here. These are our comparison bars. It's basically breaking apart the multiplication problem and putting it into sections. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we are going to be comparing the amounts just like we were, but using the multiplication bars and an equation. So let's read the story problem and show you how to do this. All right, so it says, to prepare for a family gathering, Sarah and Ryan made soup. Sarah made 2 quarts, Ryan made 6 quarts. You can compare amounts using multiplication and division. Remember how we talked about these two were inverses. So we're going to let R equal the number of quarts Ryan made, and S is going to equal the number of quarts that Sarah made. All right, so what they are doing here is they're saying that we started off with 2, so they counted by 2s until they got to what Ryan had, which was 6. So they said 2, 4, 6. So they made a bar for each one of those. And if you see, Sarah only had 1 bar. So what they are doing is they said that he had 1, 2, 3 bars. So he had 3 times as many as Sarah. So our answer here would have been 3. So let's try one more right here by ourselves. This one says Natasha made 12 quarts of soup. Manuel made 3 quarts. So we need to draw comparison bars to show the amount of soup each person made. So what we are going to do is we need to make bars. We need to look at our two numbers, which was 12 and 3. So it's saying that she made 12 quarts of soup and he made 3. So we're going to be looking at who made more soup. So what we need to do is we're starting with the number 3. So just like we did above with the 2's, we're going to draw bars, and each one is going to be equaling 3. So I would just skip count until I got to 3. Or, sorry, until I got to 12. So I'd be doing 3, 6, 9, 12. And you can write a 3 in each one. So how many bars did I make? I made 1, 2, 3, 4. So Natasha made 4 times as many as Manuel. So the equation that we would have had here would have been 12 divided by what? is going to be equal to 3. So we already know that answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so the answer was 4. So they kind of put it into a sentence over here. Blank made 4 times as many quarts as blank. So we're looking at this. We did get the answer 4, but as you remember, we have to know what we are answering. So we need to say who made 4 times as many. So 4 isn't up here, so we need to look. So we said Natasha made 12 quarts of soup. Manuel made 3 quarts. Well, I'm going to say Natasha made more, so she's making 4 times as many as Manuel, because we said Manuel, which was the 3. So we're going to write this as a multiplication. So it's 3 times 4 was equal to 12. So we said Manuel, and this was how many more she made than him, because she made 12 quarts. So right here would have been Natasha made 4 times as many quarts as Manuel. So our multiplication equation that compares the amount is this right here. Our division equation was this, but you would put the number in there. If you have the variable, that's okay too. But on the test, they are going to have you put in the number for the actual answer. So it would be 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. All right, here's our next one that we're going to be drawing some of our models in order to do. So it says there are 24 students in the science club. There are 2 times as many students in the drama club. How many students are in the drama club? So we need to draw our comparison bars in order to figure this out. So we have 24 in the science, and we have 2 times as many as the drama club. So this is a little different than the other ones we are doing, because we had to divide in order to get those. And now we are not, because we are having 2 times as many as what we are looking for. So here's 24, but the drama club is the 2 times as many. So I'd be making 2 times, because this right here is the drama club, this is the science club. So what is our equation that we'd be using to solve this? Well, I'm going to say the drama club, I'm going to make that a D, because remember, we're using variables, so I'm going to make it kind of stand for what I had, so D for drama. All right, so then I'm going to have D equals the 24, because that's what we started with, and it was 2 times as many. So remember, we're going to use the dot, and it'd be 2. So 24 times 2 is going to equal to D. So how would I write this? How would I answer? I say D equals, what is my answer? It's going to be 48. So there are 48 students well, there's 48 more students, or 48 students in the drama club, because we said that there's 2 times as many as in the science club. All right, let's do maybe 1 or 2 more. So let's see right here. We have, there are 180 pennies in Miguel's coin collection, and that's 5 times as many as the number of quarters in his coin collection. How many quarters does Miguel have? Okay, so here are our numbers. We had 180, and then we had 36, or we had 5. All right, so then I am looking at this, and I'm going to say there are 180 pennies in Miguel's collection, and that's 5 times as many as the number of quarters in his coin collection. So I'm saying he starts with 180, and he has 5 times as many quarters. So what I'm going to be doing, since he has 5 times as many of a missing number, right? So we are saying we're doing division of quarters. It's going to equal 5. Oh, let's finish that off. All right, so then we're going to say we need to solve this. You don't have to draw the comparison bars if you don't want to, but you are more than welcome to. So if we did this division, we could have said, because remember, when we start with this number, we're not going to multiply because we end up with a bigger number here. We're going to divide. So we're going to put this number here. Okay, so let me make it bigger so you can see it really quick. We're going to do 180 divided by 5. So we should already know how to walk through the division. How many times can 5 go into 1? 0 times, so we're going to go into 2. So how many times can 5 go into 18? That should be 3 times. And then we say 5 times 3 is going to be 15. Sister will subtract. 8 minus 5 is going to be 3. 1 minus 1 is 0, so we don't need to write that. And then brother will bring down and make that a 0. Then we are going to say how many times. We got to repeat. So we have to say how many times can 5 go into 30? Or 5 times what is going to equal 30? We're going to say that's a 6. So then 5 times 6 is going to be 30. And 30 minus 30, we know is going to be 0. So our number right here is going to be 36. So let's come back over here. We're going to say there are 180 pennies in Miguel's coin collection, and that is 5 times as many as the number of quarters in his coin collection. How many quarters does Miguel have? Okay, well, he has 36 quarters, but I need you to also give me the equation of what you did. So I'd be writing it, we did 180 divided by Q is equal to 5. And then we said Q equals 36. And we said it was 36 quarters. That's why I made the Q. Alright, so on your homework page, which is right here, you're going to be solving all of this and be ready to talk about it tomorrow. So don't forget, you have to show your work. Give me both the comparison problems right here. You need to make sure you're showing me your work. And I need to have some variables in there that you solve for. So I should have the variable equals what, but I need the equation as well. So make sure you're reading closely and you know what to do. And I will see you tomorrow with your work. Have a great night.